So, as you can see by your screen, we're doing a Fall Guys video today. Yes, today we are ranking all the mini games in the game Fall Guys. And we're doing another one of these tier list formats with all the tiers here and all the mini games down here. So yes, I have all the tiers broken up here, obviously. S is the best tier, and F is the worst tier for games that, well, especially suck, let's say. And down here are all the mini games. I have the new mini games at the end of this tier list here. So first we're gonna rank all the old mini games from season 1, and then we're gonna rank the season 2 mini games and where they kind of fit in the tier list. So let's get started. And yes, first I'm just gonna place these games generally where I feel they should be, and this can all be changed as the video progresses. So let's get started with the first game, Block Party. And this is gonna go, for now, the middle of the pack, a solid C tier game. It wasn't that bad, but it wasn't that great either. It was kind of just too easy. That was my biggest complaint about this game. Like, it could get hard at sections if people got in your way, but a lot of the times I was just bored for most of the game. So that's why it's in the lower middle end of the pack. And then the next game we have here is Gate Crash, and I really like this game. I'm gonna put this in A tier for now. It's a simple concept. It's all about timing when gates are opening and closing, but I had a lot of fun with it, to be honest. It was very satisfying just barely making it over the gate, and the slidey hill at the end was a lot of fun to use too. So the next game we have here is Gate Crash, and it was pretty good, I thought. Or good, I'll give it a good at least. So I'm gonna put it in B tier for now. It's all about finding which doors are real and which are fake. And the strategy, what I learned in this game, is to not be brave and let your other teammates or your other enemies do the gate testing for you, and you just sneak in and try to squeeze your way through the doors. Because literally if you mess up on one gate, it can kind of screw you over. But if you use that strategy, this game becomes a lot more fun. So that's why it's solid upper B tier. Okay, and then we have the Egg Scramble game. I hate this game. F tier easily. First of all, the grab physics in Fall Guys are something else. I'll leave it at that. So it can be very hard to grab an egg versus grabbing a person. The detection is not the greatest many times, and it could just be very jank, very weird. Plus, it's very hard to steal eggs from other people's bases, so a lot of people just defend for the rest of the game, and it gets very boring and very frustrating, I will say that. That's why it's F tier. Okay. Then we got this Fall Guys soccer game, Fall Ball, actually I think it's called, and that, it was just meh. Actually, less than meh. It's a D tier. This is because, okay, I hate the physics on these balls. These balls, I don't know what planet they're on. They're not Earth physics, they're not Moon physics, they're Fall Guys physics. They are something else. Always when you hit it, they seem to go in whatever direction it wants to, and it can be really jank and really glitchy. Plus, it's a team game, which just makes it even worse, I'll say. Okay, and with that, we have Fall Mountain. I don't like this game either. It's really luck-based. It's going in D tier, but above Fall Ball. Okay, this is because even though it does look pretty skill-based, it's all about platforming by the looks of it. It's really luck-dependent on where these balls are shooting and how they hit you. Like, with one hit, it can completely take you out of the race and screw your chances of winning just like that. And any game that does that is really not fun. Plus, you're at a huge disadvantage if you start on one of the back roads at the beginning, so it's a lot of luck in this game, which I don't like for a final round. Okay, and after that is Fruit Shoot, which, yeah, not a big fan of this game either. I'd say this is, okay, I'll give it, it's not a D tier at the very least. It's bottom of C for now. Bottom of C for now. This is because, okay, all the skill is literally at the start, and then it's a lot of luck as to where the fruit lands, and that's not good. So if you have a good start, you're most likely going to be qualified, and if you have a bad start, good luck, man. That's all I can say. Once everyone gets going, they all move to the sides, and you're pretty well sticking at your position unless you get some random luck BS thrown at you. So that's why it's not that great, or I'm not a huge fan of it, because it's really luck dependent. And after that, we got Hit Parade, and this game is actually a lot of fun. I'm gonna put it in A tier. A tier behind the wall game, or whatever it's called. I really like the first part of this game, where there's all those spinny things that you push, and then there's that big wall that crushes and opens. It's really hectic and chaotic just to get through the center of that wall, and I always have fun with that. And the slime part at the end is pretty fun. Plus, when you get to the top of that, you can push people down the slime, which is always good for Fall Guys, I'd say. And then the lollipops, they're kind of easy to dodge, but it's not too bad, that section. I wish this game was longer. That's like my one nitpick. But yeah, it's a pretty good game overall. A lot of skill involved. And after that, we have Hexagon. No surprise, everyone loves this game. S tier easily. It's the best way to finish the round. It's the best final showdown game easily because it's all skill based. It's really skill dependent. You could either go slow if you have space, or you can try to cut off your enemies if you don't have space or if they're trying to cut you off. So it's a really big risk reward kind of deal. Plus there are so many layers, so you have many attempts to redo your mistakes or get back in the game if you fall early or fall late. And yeah, it's really tense at the end when there's just a few hexagons left and there's only a few players, so it just makes for some great Fall Guys action. And after that, we have Hoarders. I hate this game too. It's F tier. It's F tier above the egg one though. Above the egg one, there we go. It's above the egg one because it doesn't have eggs. Simple as that. You don't have to grab these balls. But all the weird ball physics from the fall ball game are applied to this one because I don't even know which direction these balls go in when you hit it. Plus, if you're losing, it's so hard to catch back up if people just guard or defend their gate. It's really overpowered, to be honest. It's hard to move balls when everyone's attacking one at a time. So it's all chaotic, it's all random, not much skill. Weird physics. That's my review. Okay, then we have Hoopsie Daisy. This game actually grew on me. I first didn't like it all that much, but as I got better at it, I liked it more. And I'd say it's a middle of the pack game. It's above these two. Okay, it's above these two. Even though it's a team game, it's still above these two games. This is because it's all about strategically placing yourself as to where you think rings are going to spawn, and then you just try to build up the most points for your team. I mean, this map is a bit big, which that's my one kind of nitpick about this game. So you could kind of just be walking in circles looking for a hoop to spawn, but other than that, it's pretty fun. It's a fun way to get points through diving through these hoops. And you can make leaps of faith to faraway hoops, and that's always fun too. Okay, then we have Jinxed. Jinxed is alright. I'm gonna put it at bottom of C tier over here. The grab mechanics are a bit weird. I know they tried to fix it in this new Season 2 update, but I don't know if they fixed it or not. They made it easier to grab, but I feel with Jinxed, you can get grabbed like halfway across the stage at some times, and that's never fun, let me tell you. But it's still not a bad game. It could be pretty tense if you're the last one to not be infected and you got like 3 virus boys chasing you. But I don't like how half the team gets eliminated, and this game is usually early on in the rotation, so it's usually a short round. There should be 3 teams, I think, at least. But yeah, that's one of my nitpicks about the game. Okay, so the next game we have here is Jump Club, and this game is... where should I put this game? Okay, I'm gonna put this game actually top of C tier, and I'm gonna move the hoop one bottom of B tier. I think that'd be better. Yeah, that looks good. That looks better. So with this jump game, you really only have to jump over this green bar while avoiding the pink bar. And yeah, that's really all there is to it. You can get kind of trolled by your teammates if they grab you, so you try to stay away from them as much as you can, or that's what I try to do at least. But yeah, it's kind of fun. It's simple, which is why it's only in the middle, because there's not a lot to it. All you do is jump, really. But it's a solid game, no real big flaws, but no real things that make it really fun either. And after Jump Club, we have Jump Showdown, and this game, it's a bit more fun than Jump Club. I'll put it at bottom of B tier at least, not top of C. This is because the stakes are a lot higher. It's the last game, so there's only one person standing, which makes this game a lot more tense. Plus the floor breaks away, so you have a lot less space to actually move around in this game, and that just makes it even more tense. Yeah, but that's really how I would describe this game. It's a lot more intense and hardcore version of Jump Club, and that's why it's a bit higher than that. And the next game we got here is the fruit matching game. Perfect match, if you will. And it's F tier. It's okay. It's not bad, it's just boring. And yes, boring is bad, but it's not like frustrating. You're really not gonna lose this game, to be honest. It's just, if you get it, it's a waste of 3 minutes. That's how I feel. So it's not as low as Hoarders or the Egg game, but it's like, I don't enjoy playing it at all. Seriously, I learned how to count to 6 in kindergarten. I don't need another test on it, thank you very much. And yeah, that's why it's F tier. It's boring. Simple as that. Okay, and then we have the next game here, Slime Climb, and this game is a lot of fun. I'd put it in S tier, to be honest. It's really skill dependent. This is one of the most skillful games in Fall Guys, I'd say, and it's just a lot of fun. There are so many sections of this game. It's all about timing and racing your other teammates, or your other opponents, I should say. And yeah, you gotta move fast. You could screw people over and grief them at the very end, which is kind of fun, but it's a high risk, high reward situation, so don't always do it. But it's really skillful platforming with a lot of segments in this game, which is even better. There are so many different ways they actually use the platform in this one game. Okay, and then we have the next one, Rock and Roll. I hate this game. I hate this game. I'm gonna put this like I'm gonna put this here. Yeah, I think here is fine. I was debating whether to put it last or second last, but nothing's as bad as these eggs, let me tell you. It's a team game, which makes this game even worse because when we're all trying to push the ball at the start, I feel half the team always leaves, and then it's harder to push the ball. And it doesn't even make sense to leave at the start because then you screw your team over and the other balls aren't in the main area at the very start. It just sucks, man. And then at the end, if all the balls are just trying to be screwed over by other teams, you get no progress done, and this game could last way too long, or it could be over in like 2 seconds because one team just doesn't push that well. It's ball physics, it's a team game, it has all the bad things in one game, and that's why it's at the bottom of the list. Alright, and then we have rollouts here. I feel this is another middle of the pack game. Okay, I'm just gonna put it here at the end of C. I think that, yeah, that's a good spot for it. It's boring, it's just kind of too easy, this game. And that's my biggest thing with it. You just kind of run around in circles for 3 minutes and just wait for everyone else to get knocked out. You can get screwed over and griefed, which is the biggest annoying thing. But at the same time, you could screw over other people by pushing them off. And it's actually really easy to do on this map. So it's a bit of a double-edged sword there. But yeah, biggest thing, it's just too easy. If you're not around your teammates, which is kind of easy to do because you have a lot of space, it's just boring. But there is still some skill involved, which is why it's bottom middle. That's where I'd say I'd put it. And you know, now that I think of it, I think I put the fruit one a bit too high. I'm gonna put this top of D tier just because it's so luck dependent, this game. But anyways, moving on, we have Dizzy Heights, and this game is fantastic. I'm gonna put this at the bottom of S tier. This is a lot of fun. There's so many different sections. You just kind of spin around these lazy Susans, if you will. At the start, you do that for a bit. You go on these spinners on this high section, so if you fall off, there is a bit of a punishment, and that's a cool part as well. And then the final part, especially if there's a hammer, is a lot of fun because you got balls and fruit shooting at you, and you're just trying to make it to the end there. So it's a lot of fun, a lot of great platforming, and a classic Fall Guys game, I'd say. Now we have Royal Fumble, another final game. Okay, I'd say I'd put this at the bottom of the C tier. It's not great, but it's not like that bad, I'd say. My biggest thing, I wish this wasn't a final game. It'd actually be a lot more fun if it was more like a tail tag type game. I just like the map a lot more than tail tag's map. But it can be pretty tense if you have the tail and you have like the rest of the team just on your back. It could be fun in that case, but a lot of the times you're gonna be the one chasing and the guy's just gonna be at the other end of the map. So yeah, it's a hit or miss. It could be either pretty good or meh as a final game. And as a final game, I feel the stakes are a lot more higher because they are more higher. So if it's bad, it really makes a poor impact. Okay, then we have Seesaw, the next game here. I'm gonna put this in A tier. I'd say, yeah, bottom of A tier. It's pretty good, this game. It's really skill dependent. You want to go on the side that's tipping the least, and you want to strategically wait if you think the side is going to fall over because everyone's jumping on it. So there is a lot of skill involved in this game. Plus, you can make plenty of mistakes in this game and still come back. There is a big comeback factor in this game, which makes it always intense. It's not like you mess up once and you're just out, you give up right there. So that's always a good feature to have. And it's just a really simple yet good concept to put it in a Fall Guys game. But of course, there is only one mechanic throughout the whole game, which is why it's not as good as these platforming ones, which keeps changing up. Okay, well, except for the wall one, but this game keeps varying up what type of walls and the speed of walls, so I'll give it that. And the next game we have here is Tail Tag. This game is, it's something, I'll tell you that. I'll put this game like right here. This game's very like hit or miss for me. That's why it's like middle of C tier. It could be pretty tense to get the tail in the last 30 seconds, but at the same time, the grab mechanics are really wonky. Plus, you know, a lot of BS could happen in the last 30 seconds. Because the first bit of the game really doesn't make all that much difference as long as you have a tail at the very end. And that's kind of what I don't like. But you can exploit the weird camera controls and the weird camera angles, which I tend to do a lot, and then use your wall hacks by using the nameplates and then just hide in the shadows. That's kind of the strategy I use, and that makes it a lot more enjoyable. Then we have Team Tail Tag, which it's gonna go down a tier just because it's a team game, but it's still alright. It's still the same mechanics of Tail Tag. You can hide and then just grab a person's tail really fast that's on the conveyor belt, and that's always good. That's what I like doing. And it doesn't have all the BS of the other D tier games, which is why it's at the top of the D tier, but it's a team game and it has weird tail mechanics, so that's why it's in D tier. Then we have Tiptoe. This game can be hilarious. I kind of like this game, I feel, more than other people do. And I'm going to put this game right here, right in B tier. It's kind of fun. I mean, I just kind of try to stay in the pack and then let everyone else be brave and see which tiles are fake or not, and then follow my opponents when they do find it, and that could be a good strategy. And everyone's pushing people off, and you try to push people on what you think is the right tiles, and that's just because so I don't have to take the risk of falling down and it being a fake tile. So there is actually a lot of strategy, even though it is kind of random which tiles are fake and which are not, but I still do like this game. Then we have the Whirligig, and this game is a fantastic game. This is going to S tier. I think it's my favorite game, to be honest. So top of S tier, this game's awesome. There's multiple different paths at the end. There's a lot of random spinning propellers, which is always fun to time and dodge. All that is great in this game. And there's no real BS or luck components, so there's all skill, a lot of great platforming. This is the most classic Fall Guys fun game for me. And the start of the game can be fun if you strategically try and get smacked by some of the propellers to boost you up, so this is all good. Okay, so this is how I would rank all the Season 1 games, and now let's get on to the Season 2 minigames. The first one here is another egg scramble, Castle Egg Scramble. And this game's actually really good. I didn't realize how much I'd actually like an egg game until they did this. And honestly, I'd put this game mid of B tier. I think that's a good spot for it. So they really opened up the map a lot, which is great. This is a huge improvement from the claustrophobic initial egg game. Plus they made it a lot harder for you to steal eggs since your baskets are huge this time. A lot more time to move around. I just feel I could actually breathe now in this game, and I think they tweaked the egg grabbing a bit. I'm not sure, but it just felt a lot better this time. And yeah, honestly, this is what Egg Scramble should be. I think Egg Scramble should be taken out at this point because we have the lot more improved version this time. But I mean, it's not A or S because the egg gimmick is a bit weird still, but it is probably the best you're gonna get with this egg mechanic. Then we have Castle Hoopsie Daisy. I like this game a lot. I really do. This is gonna go, honestly, I'd say in A tier. I'd say up there in A tier. And this one, they actually did the opposite of what they did to the egg one. They made a smaller map. And this is great because you're not in just a field of nothing. There's usually always a hoop around you or somewhere near you, which is great. Plus, they didn't make it a team game, and this makes it huge. This is a lot better to have only a one-person free-for-all hoop game. And on top of all of this, they added movable objects that you need to use to reach certain hoops. But if you move them, you can kind of help your opponents somehow if you're not careful, so it's a really great strategic game. I love this game. Alright, the next one we have is Night Fever. Again, this is a fantastic game. I'd put it up in S tier. Right here. Yeah, right. Come on. Right here. Right here. There we go. This game is honestly an instant classic and is perfect for Fall Guys. There are various different sections and they're all unique in their own right. You got the spinning spike things, which are actually can be very tricky to time. Then you got the slide, the slime slide, which is a lot of fun to just jump down and go super fast down while avoiding the axes. And then the 3 bridges at the end are actually brilliant because you have to time it when they're coming down and when they're coming up. And if they are coming up and you're gonna fall, you can jump between bridges. So a lot of fun. It can be really tense if it's only a few more people that need to be qualified. So this game's great in that regard. Then we have the final game, Wall Guys. Interesting name aside, it is a fantastic game too. I'd put this up in S tier just above Night Fever. This is a totally unique game for Fall Guys, but it works perfectly. You could have the movable objects, which are great, and you could use them to screw over your opponents or try and benefit yourselves. So it is, again, like the Hoop Legends game, a risk-reward dynamic by moving the platforms. And there's not much to say. It is so simple, yet so brilliant, and it is a perfect fit for Fall Guys. Plus, you could kind of troll people by just standing at the edge of the platforms, so that's always good in a Fall Guys game too. And that's my Fall Guys tier list. Hopefully you like it. Maybe you disagree. Maybe you agree. Who knows? Let me in the comments and let me know your long Fall Guys ranking list because there are now a lot of mini games. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Will I make Fall Guys in the future? Maybe. We'll see. Probably not. I will see you guys later.